Of course, this is going to be like rocket science here.
Matt Bernard's at work building computers. Some call this IT. Matt Bernard calls this his therapy.
Has been a great coping mechanism for me.
Bernard began his career in the military.
Needed some structure in my life.
He served in the Army, returned to civilian life, only to re-enlist after 9/11 in the Army Reserves and National Guard. And that's how, in 2006, he found himself in Ramadi, Iraq, a haven for insurgents. A mission he volunteered for. Bernard was on patrol when his Humvee,
We all get kind of thrown around the vehicle.
was struck by a rocket.
A good concussion, some lacerations.
He earned a Purple Heart, and then, less than a week later,
Got another concussion.
earned another
Fractured my neck, my shoulder.
when he was severely injured by a roadside bomb.
Put me in a situation where I didn't really have much of a choice but to be sent home for medical attention and treatment.
A few weeks later, he was back in New Hampshire,
Where are you going, Johnny?
Just gonna find a frog.
and he says unprepared for that transition.
Can I hold it? No, Kevin, can I hold it?
The transition was too quick. I was only given a treatment plan and not treated. I was lost in the cracks.
Bernard knew he had the support of his family, and he knew some vets don't have that support and get lost in the cracks for good.
This battlefield is fought back home, and instead of a gun, I'm using a camera.
That's why Matt Bernard, a network engineer by trade, became a filmmaker and produced a documentary about veteran homelessness.
I spent a day with a chronically homeless veteran named Jeff.
There wasn't enough focus in the news, in the media in general. I just wanted to do something.
The movie led him here to Harbor Homes, which helps people facing mental health issues and homelessness, and to CEO Peter Kelleher.
I saw immediately someone dedicated with such passion.
And it led him to Buckingham Place,
We're gonna go up and see Jerry, one of the veterans that we've interviewed before. And
Harbor Homes' VA-funded transitional housing facility for vets and families.
We use the Veterans Grant and Per Diem program. It's critical on a day-to-day basis, the kind of support that we receive and are very appreciative of from the Department of Veteran Affairs. They are there for us and we're there for them.
A little while later, Bernard went back to Harbor Homes. After a stint training soldiers in Afghanistan, Bernard returned to a deeply troubled economy.
I looked at everything and I felt that I had to sort of reinvent myself.
He didn't have a job, but he had an idea.
I came up with this great idea to start my own business, and probably the toughest economy that we've seen in years.
The idea was Brinestone, a computer consulting business that would hire and train veterans.
So I reached out to Harbor Homes and I pitched this idea.
Harbor Homes, using a Department of Labor grant, gave Bernard cubicle space.
So this is where we got our start.
And Harbor Homes clients to train.
He could hire and train the veterans that we knew were desperately seeking employment, and it was a great fit.
We got to just get the information about the printer, the IP address.
Veterans like Stephen Atkinson.
It felt good to get back and be productive.
Employment is just so critical to self-esteem and ability to recover and return to the community. It's vital.
Just the type of project promoted by the VA Center for Faith-Based and Community Initiatives, which helps faith-based and community organizations, like Harbor Homes, help vets.
Good to see you today.
Good to see you, George.
Then Matt Bernard called the VA's Vocational Rehabilitation and Employment Service, VRE, which helps veterans with service-connected disabilities find work.
Troubleshooting PC errors and so on.
Just when Counselor George Kimball was looking for work for veteran Stephen Lewald,
There's no jobs available.
Matt Bernard walked into the VRE office looking for vets.
We explained all of the employer incentive programs, the on-the-job training options.
Bernard ended up with financial incentives and a new hire.
But there's no thread there. So
When Stephen received the job from Brinestone, he was ecstatic. It was more than he expected.
when me and Matt met, we hit it off pretty well together. We had kind of an understanding.
Team cohesiveness, that camaraderie that I knew from being in the military, made sense for me. It was comfortable. 2, 3.
It's been 3 years since Matt Bernard left the war zone. He now has 6 kids.
This is Owen. He's 3 weeks today. So this is Brinestone.
Brinestone has a new office.
We have a little showroom here, our tech area. Stephen's working on a computer right now. My office over here.
But Iraq has lasting effects.
I'm reminded of Iraq on a day-to-day basis.
There are the injuries. Concussions affected his short-term memory.
I just compensate by taking notes of everything I do.
But then there's this.
The face of homelessness is not necessarily...
So I take the negative.
He produced a documentary.
I've been able to turn it into a positive.
He helped create a program to reintegrate New Hampshire soldiers returning from war. He started Brinestone.
I think I could get in here and turn now. I get this one.
This, he says, has been his therapy.
Providing, I guess, opportunities and helping others has played a big role in my healing process, if you will.
Nobody's gone out of their way to fix me, he says. I've really had to fix myself. He's helped himself by helping others.
It's sort of paying it forward. It's food for the soul, and I've gained a lot of satisfaction out of it.